Hey, this is Brian Bradley. I will be co-hosting this month's edition of The Kingdom is Here. Sean's going to do the Creator Spotlight, but I'm going to stand in and I'm going to do this very first interview because it is David McConnehey. David, how you doing?
Doing all right.
That's good. That's good. David and I, we go back probably about a decade. David and I have done many different comic book conventions across the country. We've done like Kansas. We've done. In fact, let me ask you, what is your favorite convention of all the different ones we've done? Which one really stand out for you?
Oh, hands down, C2E2. Hands down.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because I never ended up doing San Diego, which is supposedly the best. So of all the ones that I've been able to do, C2E2 was the best because it reminded me of what Wizard World, Chicago Comic-Con was when I was growing up. Just the magnitude of it, the carpeting and the fanfare. It seemed to be what I remember it to be.
I enjoyed C2E2 as well, especially because I had the opportunity to meet Joe Rubinstein. And he sat next to us, and through our interaction, he ended up doing a couple of different covers for the Anointed Seven. So that was really a very unique opportunity that presented itself, and it paid off to the point where I believe he will probably be willing to do a couple more covers for us in the future. I think for me, as we look back at some of the different conventions, I always enjoyed the drives. C2E2 was pretty close for me. It was only like 20 minutes away. But I enjoyed doing Kansas. I enjoyed Smallville when we did that. That was a pretty nice drive, like a 12-hour drive. We drove there overnight on the way back. So that one always kind of stands out for me. But there've been a few. Texas, we did Texas, and that took like 17 hours.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of looking forward to things now starting to open back up, having the opportunity to be doing these conventions again. We have a few of them on the schedule already. So I also want to ask you, kind of get into your background a little bit. What are some of your early influences as far as artistically?
Artistically, I grew up in when I really got into comics was probably in the 90s, so it would have been the era of, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, Todd McFarlane, the guys that paved the way for artists to, really have a voice and be seen. I was always partial to Mark Silvestri and Jim Lee, though. They're still my favorites. They're still the ones that I follow and look at.
I didn't know that. Mark Silvestri is my favorite artist. Especially his stuff. Once they all got together for Image Comics, it really just expanded. He was my favorite. I remember when he first started drawing for the X-Men. And boy, he's I think that he began, I think I read a story one time where he actually didn't start drawing comics until he was in his 40s. And he had made the decision that if by a certain age he doesn't break in, he's going to quit. And right about that time, he started drawing for Marvel. So I always thought that was kind of cool, us being older guys, we were still trying to hone our own talents.
All right.
You've met Chris Claremont before too, haven't you?
Yeah. As a writer, Chris Claremont, he wrote the original miniseries for Wolverine, which is my favorite Marvel character, and I think that's one of the reasons why C2E2 holds a lot of value, because Mark Silvestri was there, which I didn't get to meet him, but so was Chris Claremont. I did love Austin, and I did love Smallville, but I think that's why C2E2 just was so much, because I got to meet Chris Claremont, which is one half of the original talent on the Wolverine miniseries. So that was very cool.
Yeah, I didn't get to meet him, but I just saw a documentary called Chris Claremont and the X-Men on Amazon Prime, and it was interesting seeing he himself kind of talk about those years when he was doing the X-Men, and it kind of made me more of a fan of his than I already am. And definitely, next chance I get, I am going to try to meet him, get a picture with him. So let me ask you a little bit about some of the artistic work you've done over the years. I mean, you're no stranger to the Christian comic scene. Even before you were working with me, you've done some other things. Can you kind of discuss that a little bit?
I did some stuff with Community Comics. Trying to think of the names off the top of my head. There's several within the community of Christian comic creators that I just became friends with over the years, and every so often there'd be a cover that would come up or some digital coloring needed done, and any chance I got to actually do some of the drawing, I would jump on that. But except for doing some small, short snippet stories, there was an anthology series and stuff like that where I did some things, but except for some short stories, I didn't really get to do anything longer until going to Kingdom Comics, where I was able to do a book here a couple years ago where I got to do a good chunk of it, but with a lot more artwork in it. And even though I don't mind writing and digital coloring and stuff like that, just being able to push the pencil is still, my first passion. So
absolutely. You've also done your own book in the past called Torrent. Is that correct? Your publication or your own design company, graphic design company, is Fish Without Feet. And,
right.
And out of that, you actually published your own book as well called Torrent.
Well, that book is not it has not been published. But Torrent did get a kind of a cameo through Kingdom Comics because of Kingdom Comics. So he did get his cameo first appearance, and so that was very cool to see a character that whenever you're able to develop your own character, your own story, give life to your own creation, and see it in print. It's a totally different thing,
Absolutely. So let's segue from that into the work that you've actually done for Kingdom Comics. You picked up the writing for Quiver, and I must admit, other than myself who started writing Quiver, you're the only one who I found who can actually catch the spirit of who he is. It's kind of interesting because you and I have both written him. He's up to issue 16 right now, and I think he's probably written more than me. But I believe that most readers would not hardly notice the difference because we can just move right in and out of a character who's pretty crazy, pretty silly. But you and I both seem to catch that and pick up on who he is, and we both have written him. You've taken it over again this current issue. Can you talk a little bit about that issue, especially as you introduce the Knights Templar, and where you got that idea from, and kind of where the story is going?
Yeah, with Quiver, he didn't have a huge amount of content in his original first appearance, but he just kind of came off as this wisecracking fun guy, and so it was a lot of fun to put those quips, those jokes, just to have such a serious storyline, but still keep it light and fun. And we'd taken him pretty far to really kind of work through who he was, even have an origin issue, And moving into this newest series, I wanted to kind of dive into a personal passion of mine, which is a lot of the apologetics and even some more diving deep into the biblical background and history of like the Garden of Eden and stuff like that. And I've always been a big fan of Knights Templar anyway, just their history, who they are, and I wanted to look at this post-apocalyptic world that Kingdom Comics has developed, and kind of think, okay, well, what if they were still around? What would they be? Who would they be like? And just, and what kind of story, what would still be drawing them, and what would their mission still be? And so it gives them the opportunity for Quiver to kind of reveal who they are and what they are as we move into future books.
Sure. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to where you're going with the storyline. That issue is available now. Beneath this video, there'll be a link for you who are viewing this video to download, to purchase. It is Quiver 16. And yeah, it's really picking up, and I'm glad that you returned and that you're writing it again. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are at right now. We do have a couple other things coming up that I'll get into at a later date. But David, thank you for taking time and allowing us to interview you and kind of talk about these things a little bit. So yeah, God bless you. Thanks a lot. I look forward to seeing you. I'll be seeing you the months ahead. Get back out there on the convention circuit. So
yep. Sounds great.
Okay, well, this concludes this month's interview. Coming up, we got the Career Spotlight, in which Rashad will be returning and he will be interviewing Daniel. So hold tight. Talk to you later. And remember, the kingdom is here. Almost forgot that. The kingdom is here. Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kingdom is Here YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rashad Washington, and today we have Daniel Khairullah here with me. How you doing, sir?
I'm okay, thank you. Good to be with you today.
Yes, and I know it's really early over there for you, so I'm going to try to make this quick because I know it's 7 o'clock a.m. your time, and it's only 8:45 my time. Now, I know you're pretty tired, so we're going to get right into it. Sounds good?
No worries, mate.
All right, Daniel. So let me tell you. So now we are here talking about Kingdom Comics, and how long you been a part of Kingdom Comics?
That's a good question. Over 4 years now, I think.
Over 4 years?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a pretty long time. Do you like it so far? How did you get into it? Like, with the Kingdom Comics, how did you meet Brian?
It's first of all, to answer the first part of your question, it's amazing. This is a dream come true for me. To answer the second part of your question, I met Brian on a platform called Odesk, which is now known as Upwork. Okay. And he initially hired me to do. I don't know whether this was meant to be a one-off, but it was initially meant to be. Well, I don't know. Anyway, it started out with him finding me, and at that time I was just starting out with being a comic artist, and I was really lucky to get a job like this. We started off with that, and he contacted me saying that we're starting this new section of his. We were starting a new title, basically, which was going to be Quiver. Okay. Initially, he was just doing Anointed 7, and in between, I guess it was Kingdom Comics Presents, but he wanted to start off with a new title, which was Quiver, and he said, "Will you be able to do it?" And the funny thing was that he mentioned it had to be manga based or manga comic based. I'm crazy about manga comics. I'm crazy about anime, so I jumped on this immediately, and it really changed. And I think I've just finished issue number 16, so some people obviously like the comic book well enough to make it, for them to want it to go, from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. Now it's 16. So really, really happy about that.
That's great to hear, man. Wow. So you're a big fan of anime and superheroes and things in that nature, right? So do you have like any, because I've been asking like every episode that I've done so far, I've been asking everybody who I interview who's their favorite superhero. So do you have any favorite superheroes?
Spider-Man, hands down.
Spider-Man, yes. Spider-Man is, I have Spider-Man and Batman are my top 2 favorites.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I I think it was Josh that I talked to, and I think he said Spider-Man as well. But Spider-Man, man, all the way. I love me some Spider-Man.
Yeah, man. Ever since I was a kid, and in fact, do you know, it's really interesting. I actually used to pray to God to make me Spider-Man. I was so crazy about Spider-Man. I remember my first issue, which was Spectacular Spider-Man 2 and 5, and that's what got me hooked on comic books. And once I just got that, it just changed my world for me, absolutely, completely.
Yeah. I just got done watching Spider-Man 3 not too long ago.
Really?
I had watched all the Sam Raimi's Spider-Mans a few days ago, and I just finished it out today with Spider-Man 3. So Spider-Man, I love me some Spider-Man. I love Batman, and of course I do love like Superman and Iron Man, but my top 3 favorites all time. My top 3 favorite all time is Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now with Kingdom Comics, now you said you've been with them for 4 years, right? And how many issues have you done for Kingdom Comics? 16
plus 1 special issue.
Wow. That's amazing! Wow.
Yeah, I've been with Quiver ever since the beginning. So really happy to have been able to develop the character from its early stages to what it is right now.
Yeah. Now, do you have a favorite character from Quiver?
Of course, Quiver, because he's very much like me. He's got the same kind of hair, and in fact, that's why I've got Quiver as having long hair, because I've got long hair as well. And
that Fabio look.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good-looking guy, so I made sure that that translates well into the comic book as well. I've also most recently. David has written a character called Paladin, and I'm really, really liking that character, and I really want to see how this character develops. I'm not sure if he's been introduced in the previous issue, in the previous titles anywhere, but I'm really, really liking this guy, and I hope Quiver and him meet at some point one day, because that's going to be really awesome to draw.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have read a lot of the latest issues. Especially when we're doing these episodes, we like to promote the next issue, and I always tell Brian, I just be like, man, like when I read these issues and I get to that last page, I'm like, oh my God, that's it. And it's just like, oh my God, I want more. It's like, I want more right now. It's like, I want to keep binge reading these because I want to have them all right now because it's so, like, it's so good. It gets you, it's captivating. You know, it gets you so into it and like following these characters. It's especially around this time, man, with this so much like superhero saturation. And I've been watching, of course, a lot of superheroes, and then like with the Kingdom comics, it's just as thrilling as far as, you know, other superhero properties that we've been getting so far. So yeah, I just get so upset. I just like, oh my God, like I want more. And it's like, I gotta wait until the next issue.
Well, yeah, it's all about the writing, mate. The writing is really, really good, and the way they set things up is obviously done in such a way where you're actually wanting more. I do my level best to translate what they've written into a visual format, so it does definitely keep you wanting more. I hope I'm achieving that, but I have to give credit to David and his writing because it's really, really fun to translate what he creates into something that I can, you know, further, I guess you could say, interpret into a visual format.
Great talking to you guys. Every time, you know, meeting you guys on here, talking about superheroes, talking about Kingdom Comics has always been a blast so far. You know. Now, I just want to ask you one more question. Well, I got a couple more questions, but I just want to ask you this: have you seen? Let's see, because I asked a couple of people before. Well, have you seen the Snyder cut of Justice League?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. How did you feel about it?
It was really interesting to see how. I actually saw a side by side. So I saw the original one and the Snyder cut, and I saw them side by side. And
also, you was watching them like all at the same time, like on the screen,
bits and pieces. Okay. You know, I couldn't watch the entire thing, but it was so interesting to see how he had changed some of the angles, and Snyder's got a really, really good eye for, I guess you can call it dramatism, because I don't know what it was about the previous one, but it left you a bit in terms of wanting more, in terms of, I guess you could say realism, or maybe there was something missing, and you never knew what it was, but when I saw the Snyder version and we put that together, and it was like Snyder put back what was missing in what the original one didn't have. For some reason, even though it was more or less the same thing. Obviously, there were bits and pieces that were included in his cut that were not included in the original one we saw, right? But it's not just that. It's the angles he's used, certain bits and pieces of the same scene that he's added back that was making it feel more full. And it was really interesting to see how, you know, how one director interprets something and how another director interprets something, even though they're almost exactly the same thing. It's really interesting to see, and obviously I enjoyed the Snyder version more because there was a lot more to take in.
Get as far as like, especially like, what's his name, Cyborg and everything. Get a little bit backstory on him. A lot more backstory this time around. And I get that. I did like it. I did like the original. I thought it was okay. And the Snyder cut, I did like a little bit more. And it's just, you know, it's just so unfortunate because of, you know, what happened with the original. You know, unfortunate with Zack Snyder and his daughters, Josh Whedon came in, and then and so like I'm sure Josh. I think it was just like the studio just saying like make it 2 hours. That's why we didn't get all of that what Snyder originally wanted, or even maybe they probably cut out some Josh Whedon stuff too. But either way, we finally got to see the whole full of Snyder's actual movie.
Yeah, and it was good because a lot of extra characters that we saw in there, and it was good. You knew the initial version was a rush job, so you thought, okay, hang on a second, there's a bit more to this than I'm sure there is right now. So whatever it is, we've got the original version, we've got the Snyder version, and we've got the original one. So it's okay.
We finally got it. We finally got it because the whole Snyder Cut fans were tweeting about this for like 5 years, and I was just like, oh, okay, man, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but you finally got it. It's here. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whole long cut. Go to HBO Max. You can watch anytime you want. But so one last question before I let you go, because I know, man, you probably up, but I still want to make sure you get some type of rest. But,
no, it's all right now. I have to get to work by around 9, so I normally wake up around this time anyway, so it's okay now.
Okay, awesome. Okay, it's okay. All right, thank you. I was just like, I hope he doesn't get mad at me. I'm just like, we gotta get out of his sleep. You gotta go to work. But it's
no, man, right. I wouldn't have missed this for anything. It didn't. Even if it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, I would have done this, no problem.
Oh, really? So 3 o'clock your time. What time would that make me? That would be.
That would be like what, 5 o'clock in the afternoon for you? Yeah.
So, oh man, that could work then. I'm just wondering. But anyway, one last question. So what's next on from you? Like, do you have more working on anything like more issues like that you can't give away too much? But is there any surprises that people of Kingdom Comics can get excited for?
Well, if there were, I would definitely not be able to tell you. At the moment, I just finished 16, so it's probably out by now. So you try and get your hands on that because it's a really full issue. A lot of new things have been introduced in there, or characters rather, and it's going to be a really good thing. I think I already gave too much away when I mentioned one of the characters that I liked, but I guess you will have found out anyway because it's already out. So get your hands on that, read it, and let me know what you think, because I kind of stretched myself on this one, but it was all worth it, and I've actually changed my posture while working now, so I can actually work longer hours now. So I got that sorted. But so nothing to give away at this moment in time because the issue's already out. But hopefully for the next one, if I ever do get an interview with you next, I'll definitely have some juicy things to share with you. Special, never seen before stuff.
That would be great. Well, man, there you have it, man. This was great talking to you, Daniel, and I'm glad everything worked out for you. Your schedule, I know, and maybe the 3 o'clock schedule could have worked, but I didn't want to push it. There's some vampire hours and everything, and I just don't want to put that pressure on you, sir. But it's been great talking to you, and hopefully I would love to talk to you again. And you have a great day, sir. And have a good day at work, and then make sure you guys, like you said, get that newest issue of Quiver. And remember, this is The Kingdom is Here. You guys have a good one. Daniel, thank you for everything, sir. I'll talk to you later.
All right, mate.